Hi everybody. Today's video is going to be a follow-up to my previous Reaktor video on open sound control. It's also going to be a video response to Irrelevance UK, who posted a message to me concerning the previous video. He stated that he was unable to replicate the process that I used to get open sound control messages sent from an instrument in Reaktor using Reaktor's own open sound control interface here on the sidebar. So just to replicate that problem, I've already set up open sound control. I've tested messages between them, so I know that there is a connection there. However, when I take an instrument with MIDI output and I connect it via Reaktor's own open sound control system here, as you can see up in the corner, we have no open sound control activity. So this is a bit of a mystery to me, but the only possibility that I can think of is that the previous video was made in Reaktor 5.8, I believe, and now I'm running 5.9. So there might be some issue with the versions there. But there is a workaround for it, which I've come up with. So let's delete this here. This is obviously not going to work anymore. What I've done is I have, just as a proof of concept, I have a sending Reaktor instance and a receiving Reaktor instance. So if we go back to our send one, what we have here is the SQP sequencer again, and I've connected that to another instrument which I've created here. So you just need to go into your basic connect tabs and make sure you connect the SQP sequencer to your new instrument here. Now, even though we're not able to use Reaktor's inbuilt open sound control connection, we're still able to manually send messages. So the way that I've done that is I've connected the sequencer's MIDI output to this instrument, which are going to come into the instrument through this channel message module. I prefer the channel message module just because that way you know that the events are going to come out in a particular order, whereas if you use, say, the pitch and the gate modules, those are two separate modules, and I've had some problems with event ordering. So I just find the channel message to be much more reliable for this sort of stuff. Basically, what we've got is we have the status output here. The two that we're concerned with, we want to interpret note off and note on messages. This will take care of note off messages as well, which Ableton Live sends into Reaktor. So I've made structures before which only interpreted note on messages with a gate of 0, and they tend to end up with hanging notes because it's unable to interpret the note off messages. So you can basically copy this structure that you see here, but just as a general description, what it does is these routers, when it receives either a note on or a note off message, it sends the pitch and the gate values to an OSC send array. The array is basically a way of sending multiple values in a single message. So if anything, this structure probably has more flexibility than Reaktor's inbuilt system. Because you're able to customize the messages that you want to send. So in this example here, it's just a simple 2-value array. So the first value is the pitch and the second value is the gate. So that way, when it receives the message, it will interpret the gate as either the note on or the note off. And you can also change this to interpret note off messages as well, but this is just a simple proof of concept. So this one here needs to be set up to send the open sound control messages. So if you've already set up your open sound control settings, you'll be able to send it to the receiving reactor, which I've got here. And this one's just sending a default name there. So if we now have a look in our receiver system, what we have here is one instrument to receive the open sound control messages and just a basic synthesizer to get some sound. So let's have a look in here. So now we have the receiving array, and what this will do is it will send out, you can look up Reaktor's help to see the order of these, but as far as we're concerned for this example, before it sends each value in the array, it will send the index. So in this case, the index of 0 will correspond to the pitch, and an index of 1 will correspond to the gate. So as it comes into this router here, it will then direct the values to the appropriate ports on the MIDI output here. And then that one is just connected to the synthesizer through Reaktor's internal connections here. Don't need that plugin. So as a basic concept, let's see if we get some sound through my keyboard. So back here in Ableton, I've just got MIDI notes coming in from my keyboard, goes into the send instance of Reaktor, gets sent to the receiver, which also has a synthesizer in there, and then we should get some sound coming through. Cool. And just to double check, we'll have a look at our sequencer as well. Just make sure that's connected to the MIDI output there. Okay, that's all fine. So there is one solution to it. Like I said, you can customize this any way that you wish, because you now have so many options for sending data in a single message. You can customize this however you would like. So you can have note on messages, note off messages, or even microtonal messages. So you no longer have to be limited to just a note value between 0 and 127 as an integer. But this is just a basic proof of concept to see what you can do in order to get around this problem. But this was news to me. I didn't realize this was the case, but thank you to Irrelevance UK for bringing that to my attention, and I hope this video was a help.